Well, hello and welcome to the Riva Chic show. I hope you all are doing well. I don't know where you all are, but I'm here in Natchez, Mississippi, and the weather is beautiful. I just love fall. It's like it makes you a different person. It's like I'm alive. It's 62 degrees here in Natchez, Mississippi today, so it's been wonderful and it feels great. So I just can't wait to get a little cooler. Originally from Chicago, so I do love this cold weather. Call me crazy, but I like it. Anyways, today I am going to show you some tips and tricks on fixing furniture to poly, filming, all that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to go over a couple of things today. We're not going to do a lot of hard work today, so I'm going to show you some examples and then talk about certain things, and if you have comments and questions and all that kind of stuff, please make sure that you go ahead and put those in. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, also like it, and then click on the notification bell so that you can get notified every time I post a video. Before we begin, I am going to be using products here that I personally like. This is not a sponsored ad, so just wanted to let you know that these are products that I prefer and that I enjoy using. So with that said, let's begin. Okay, the first thing that we're gonna do, are you ever chalk painting furniture in a darker color, say blacks or really dark navies, and you're putting your poly on or your seal, and it has this foggy white film on it that happens, just like this. I don't know if you can see that. It could end up looking like this, okay? It's not the product that you're using. It is actually how and what you do to apply it. So in order to get it in a finish like this, okay, where there is no foggy film on it, what you have to do first is, regardless of what piece it is of furniture, you have to put a glossy finish on it first. And what I like to use is Annie Sloan's Clear Gloss lacquer, okay? The same thing as, Poly Seal. So even though I don't want this finish, I'm first going to go ahead and put that gloss finish on here first, let that dry, and then since I want this a matte finish or say a satin, depending on what product you use, I'm gonna go ahead and then apply my clear matte on it. So anytime you have a dark finish, chalk paint finish, if it's black, like I said, or dark blues, you want to make sure that you put that gloss on there first. Unless you want to keep the gloss, and you're fine. The reason why that happens is on the matte finish, the pigmentation and the concentration that goes into your wood leaves that kind of that, film. So it needs a solid, harder base in order to sit on, obviously, that piece of furniture and make it look smooth. So again, just make sure that you are using that glossy finish first, and then you go ahead and put your matte finish. And then you'll have a solid, nice black finish, or say a blue finish. Okay, so that's how we do that. Okay, I also do want to mention that with the matte finish that we just talked about and the gloss finish, on white furniture, in time, if you're chalk painting it, obviously when it ages, it could turn like a yellowish amber color. Sometimes when you're painting it, you can also probably start seeing that color come through. Same thing with whites. I recommend that you put that, if you're lacquering it. Now, the wax is completely something different, but if you're going to lacquer it, I would recommend that you use the gloss finish also on white, and then go ahead and put your clear matte on it. it will become matte. So don't be afraid that because it's too shiny or too glossy and stuff, as soon as you put that matte finish on it, it will become, you know, a matte finish. So that's how you do the whites. So similar to the blacks, you know, the blacks are more, you know, we're looking at the film, the white cloudy look that is drying that way. But with the whites, the concentration of it is too strong. So it's going to pool, you know, an amber kind of color. And sometimes a lot of the bottles that you buy or cans, it would tell you does not turn yellow or stuff like that. But it does. It's happened to me as long as I've been doing this. When I started, I trusted that. And I noticed in time that it can, you know, not all pieces, but it does happen. It's not horrible. It's kind of look like an aged look, which is fine, but sometimes I don't want that. And that's what I do. I'll do the gloss and then obviously, you know, put the matte. Since we're on the subject of furniture and I'm showing my face here, let's move over to shellac. I love this product. And what I use this for is for bleeding furniture. And what that means is, if you say you buy an antique piece and it's really old and it has like blotches of water stains sometimes, or it's been kept outside or in the humidity, the wood starts, you know, warping. And once you start painting it, you're not going to know till you start painting it that it's going to bleed. Sometimes though, if you do see like a watermark or something like that, I know that's going to bleed. So what I do is I seal that while it's still raw and not painted. We're talking now wood pieces. I put shellac on it, let it dry completely, and then I go start my painting. Okay. But say there was no spots and I didn't know what was going to happen. I started painting my first coat. Normally you see this in light colors, you know, whites, light blues, something light. On the dark colors, you're not going to really see this, but in the light colors, yes, you will. So your first coat is put out, you put all that work on it to have your piece coated, and then all of a sudden you see blotches of bleeding furniture. It starts coming through, it's like either red or brown. That's from that old wood. So you're like, shoot, what do I do? Well, have this, okay? This is heaven. You go ahead and get yourself a foam brush, because this, once you use the brush, you can't wash this. It's sticky, gooey. You gotta toss it out. So get yourself some cheap brushes, which I'll post all the stuff that I'm using on the description. So after the video, you can check those out. Go ahead and brush on some shellac on each of those spots that you see. Let that completely dry, and voila, it's done. You can now start painting, you know, and it covers it up. It's basically like a quilt. Now, I did use kilts in the past. No, I would not recommend it. It does not work as well as this. This really bonds it, locks it, and covers it up. So shellac is my go-to choice. With shellac too, what you can use, a lot of people don't want to do this because it's a lot of work, but say you're, you know, going picking and you buy this perfect antique piece, but it's got a smelly, stinky, antique-y smell to it. Or maybe somebody was a smoker in the house. By the way, I am a smoker, but I don't smoke in the house. Anyways, and after all these years, you know, that smell is on there and you're like, how do I get rid of it? You try to clean it with all these cleaners, it still doesn't come out. Well, it doesn't. If it's been sitting in the house for a very long time and you had a smoker for, you know, 20, 30, 40 years, it's in there. I mean, it's not going to go away. Antique smells, we usually can't get rid of those. You know, it is what it is, but shellac does it. You'll know that smell as soon as you purchase it or have it. You are going to know. You then take shellac, and you have to shellac the whole piece. We're talking every crevice, every corner, the drawers, inside. We're talking every part of that piece of furniture needs to get shellacked. Once it dries, I put on a next coat. So this eliminates and takes out that odor. It's amazing. There has been times I've done it 3 times. Why? Because I'm just weird like that, just to make sure it's, completely gone. There might be sometimes just a small little smidget smell, but nothing. I mean, it's not even noticeable. So shellac does cover the odor, which is so cool. So I would definitely use shellac to cover, again, even pets. Some people are allergic to pets, or they can smell, that, say dander on furniture or whatever the case is. Shellac it. You can, I know sometimes, maybe animals have accidents on furniture. Well, you can probably smell that. Go ahead and shellac it. It removes it. There's no need to, first I would definitely clean it. So clean your furniture first, and then shellac everything. And then again, you're going to wait till it completely dries. Each piece is going to be different, depending on the wood. So, but it doesn't take too long. I mean, I will wait an hour and then go ahead and start doing what I need to do. So just check it, touch it, and see if it's, to see if it's dry. All right, well, we're going to move on to our next one. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we all, spray paint certain things, especially when it comes to like hardware and knobs and stuff like that. Well, I found this to be my friend. Just got a little piece of wood here, made some holes in it. In the back here, I made some deeper holes, for screws and stuff. And the reason why is, so say I want to paint this or spray paint this knob. All I do is put my screw like I'm actually putting the hardware on, go ahead and put it on there just like that. And now it's steady, and I can go ahead and spray paint this. Since this knob is a little heavy, obviously you're probably going to have more than one knob. You put one in the corner here so it just kind of balances out. But this is really, really neat. And then I just put this on a, say a box. I go outside and I do my spraying. So it's really neat, and let it dry like this. And once it's completely dry, we just unscrew it just like we would if it was, on a piece of furniture. And that's it. We have a perfect knob that has been painted, doesn't tilt over, it doesn't move. I, in the past, also used like foam, styrofoam. And what I would do is just, if you don't have, say wood around, go ahead and put the screw in and then stick it inside the styrofoam, and it just stays. That sometimes I use for bigger ones that have longer, longer screws, but this works just fine. Have a couple of these handy, cut them out, and then go ahead and do them. On the flat hardware, you don't have to worry about it because it's flat anyways. And lots of times we don't do the back of it because it's going to be hidden, it's going to be in the furniture. And so I just kind of leave it alone, but just make sure we always, get the edges and stuff like that. All right, let's move on to our next one. So we are going to be doing some dry claying. So let's get prepared for our dry clay and fixing the pot. Okay, here I have a pot that I really, really liked, and it had a chip here. I am going to be painting this. So I said, well, I can fix this because it's just beautiful. It's got a nice handle and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so how do you fix this? Well, what I use is Iron Orchid Designs Air Dry Clay. Wonderful stuff, okay? Just make sure that, I do have mine open, and I put it in a Ziploc, freezer bag, because this dries out and you don't want this to harden. So this you can use, we use this for molding stuff and all that kind of stuff for molds. But today we're going to be fixing this and patching it and making our own little mold to obviously cover this. So what you do is you're going to grab some of this. Right now we don't know really how much, but we'll take this much and kind of make it flat like that. Okay. All right. So now we go ahead and put it on our pot. And all we're doing is, now there might be a little extra and we can take those out just like this, because we need this for other projects. The inside here, same thing. We can take some out. There's no need for extra stuff. And then here is fine. Okay, so now all you're doing is you're working this. And since I'm going to be painting this, and I'm actually doing a special project with this, paint covers this well. And I am going to be doing like a stone crack look. So sometimes when this dries, it also like, you know, cracks and stuff like that. So, but it's okay because you're going to be painting it. So let's make sure that we cover this right here where that deep hole was, and just hold it. Okay. So usually, obviously this, because it's going to be covered and I'm doing some plaster work on top of here, I'm not going to use the glue. But you can use some glue, especially when you're doing molds. After you mold it, you pick it up and you put your glue on there. But in this case, I don't need to, because when I do the plaster, this is going to cover it. My job here is just to fix this so that crack is gone. And just smooth it out. And if you take a little bit of water, you can also smooth it out, but it's really easy to use. And it looks pretty good here. All right, let me turn it around here. And then you're just basically forming it. That's all that you're really, you know, doing to it. And just press, because you want to get it all nice and even. And again, smooth it out. So it's, when I do paint it, it's going to look like it was never there. And then this part here, since we really don't need a lot, I just take the extra out and then just smooth it. Or you can leave it, doesn't really matter. Okay. So there we have it. Now we just fixed our little pot. Now this little scratch, that's just a little scratch, that's fine. It's going to be painted anyways. But this was my problem right here, because I loved this pot and I really wanted that crack to be fixed. So again, make it even, because it's gonna dry, and it's gonna dry hard. Okay, and there we have it. Now we got a nice little pot that's been fixed, and it's you know, ready to paint. But these are great, and this takes about 24 hours, you know, to dry. Again, it's air dry clay, and I will again be posting this on the description where you can buy some. And then you put it in a Ziploc bag and then close it up, because you don't want it to dry out. These are awesome, you know, for a lot of things. And then, like I said, we just leave it and we let it dry for 24 hours. And I want to mention one more thing on the dry air clay. You know what else this is good for? So when you have scratches on your furniture, we normally put, you know, wood filler on there, and then you let it dry, and then, you know, you sand it and all that kind of stuff. Well, if it's not too deep and it's just got a really good scratch, or say it's got a little broken chip, this is wonderful. You just go ahead and put that on there, smooth it. It fills those gaps, the holes, the scratches. And then you could take a little sander, but you don't really need it because it's really, really smooth already. Because when you're putting it on there, you're actually smoothing it out to be a part of that piece of furniture. So you don't have to really sand it. And then go ahead and go ahead and paint it. You can't use this when you're, say you want to stain the top. Now that's different. You would have to use wood filler, but this is more if you're just, you know, painting a piece of furniture and you got a little, and if you got this handy, you know, like I said, these are great for the pot that we just did. They're great for molds for furniture. You have to buy the molds to do it. So I don't always use this because I prefer using this, you know, for my molds. But again, it's something simple and maybe you're out of the wood filler, or like I said, it's just something little. Go ahead and, you know, go ahead and use it because it's just wonderful. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's little short video of a little bit of the tricks. And I know I have plenty, you know, more to show you. I'm constantly coming up with, you know, other things, and don't have furniture. Say we got some on the furniture. As I go, I'll be collecting those. But sometimes, you know, don't think about that kind of stuff when you're focused on that, you know, project. But if you like what you saw today, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like it, and as well as click on that notification button there. So every time I do post a video that you will be notified. And then, like I mentioned, that all of the products that I did use, I'll list it on below in the description. So make sure that you take a look on that. And I do want to mention again, the products I used today are not sponsored by any of the folks. It's just the products that I use and that I enjoy using and that I trust. You know, the most important thing is trusting the product that you're using. As long as I've been doing this, you know, you try so many different things, and or like even going back to that poly, say you're using Minwax stuff or the polyacrylic, it works the same. You know, get the gloss and then get the matte or satin. You know, I like to use satin a lot, finish. So it works for that as well. But I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.